let's get right into this. We are watching a huge geopolitical shift happen in real time. Two countries that used to be allies, Turkey and Israel, are now in a full-blown diplomatic and economic crisis. And I'm not just talking about a disagreement here. This is a complete and total breakdown, and it has massive implications for the rest of the world. And this is the moment it all became official. This is the dramatic announcement from Turkey's foreign minister, Hakan Fidan. Think about that statement for a second. He's not just saying they've stopped trade. He's pointing out that no one else has gone this far. With that one sentence, Turkey drew a massive line in the sand, and it showed everyone just how serious this standoff really is. And when they say over, they really, really mean it. This isn't just some new tariff or a sanction on a handful of goods. No. Turkey has completely closed its airspace to Israeli flights and shut down its ports to any ship coming from or going to Israel. It is a total economic blockade designed to completely sever every single commercial tie. And the scale of what's just been lost, it's just staggering. To put this into perspective, we're talking about a $6.8 billion a year trade relationship that has just been, well, erased. This wasn't minor for either country. Turkey was actually Israel's fifth largest source of imported goods, so a decision like this carries a huge economic punch for both sides. But here's the thing, to really grasp how truly shocking this break is, you have to understand the history between these two nations. Because before they were adversaries, they were, well, surprisingly close allies. So how on earth did we get here? And I mean, this relationship goes way back, like over 500 years. It actually started when the Ottoman Sultan literally sent his navy to rescue Sephardic Jews fleeing the Spanish Inquisition. Fast forward to 1949, and Turkey becomes one of the very first Muslim nations to recognize the State of Israel. That deep history laid the groundwork for a free trade agreement in the 90s and then an economic boom that eventually peaked at that massive $6.8 billion figure. So, if the relationship was that strong for that long, what happened? What broke it? Well, the turning point really seems to coincide with the rise of one leader, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. His political goals, his ideology, it all started to clash, and clash sharply, with that historic alliance. And this kind of rhetoric, it's become a signature of President Erdogan's approach to Israel. This isn't just political disagreement anymore. It is deeply personal, it's inflammatory, and it signals a complete 180 from Turkey's past diplomatic stance. It's language designed to rally anti-Israel sentiment, and it works. But if you had to pinpoint one single event that just shattered the relationship, it would be this one, the Mavi Marmara incident. A Turkish ship tried to break Israel's blockade of Gaza. Israeli forces raided it, and 10 Turkish citizens ended up dead. And even though Israel later paid millions in compensation, the damage was done. It created this deep, deep wound that, it just never really healed. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. Because this conflict isn't just contained in the Middle East. It's creating a massive crisis inside of NATO, the most powerful military alliance in the world. And it's forcing the United States into a really, really impossible position. Just look at this geopolitical tug of war. On one side, you've got Turkey, a full-fledged NATO member. On the other side, you have Israel, America's closest ally in the region. And now, the NATO member is actively working against the key ally. We're hearing reports that Turkey is blocking military aid and pro-Israel initiatives within the alliance. It's basically a direct challenge to U.S. leadership, and for Washington, it is an absolute strategic nightmare. So all of this brings us to the big question, right? What is really driving Turkey's aggressive new stance? Is this genuine solidarity with the people in Gaza, or are there deeper, more calculated political ambitions at play here? Well, there are a few competing theories, and honestly, they might all be true at the same time. On the world stage, Erdogan could be making a play to become the leader of the Muslim world, the main champion of the Palestinian cause, all while openly hosting Hamas leaders. Back at home, storing up anti-Israel feelings is a pretty reliable way to fire up his political base. And it could all just be part of a bigger power play, a way to get leverage over the U.S. and prove that Turkey can forge its own path, completely independent of NATO. And so, ultimately, we're left with this one question. The answer isn't just going to define the future of the Middle East and the relationship between these two historic nations. It's going to test the very fabric of the NATO alliance itself. A friendship that was centuries in the making has become a global flashpoint. And right now, the whole world is watching to see what happens next.